Last night, she had the greatest night of her life, full of passion, excitement, and love she never expected. But she had no idea the man she trusted with her body was her fiancé's uncle, the notorious Korean mafia boss. Rain fell hard on Gangnam that night, not the gentle kind, the kind that erased footsteps and blurred faces, the kind that made mistakes feel inevitable. Gia ran. Her heels slapped against wet pavement as neon signs shattered into colors on the ground. Red, blue, gold. Her breath burned. Her heart hammered so loud she was sure someone behind her could hear it. She shouldn't have been there. She knew that. But desperation had a way of lying to you. The black car door opened just as she reached the curb. A hand grabbed her wrist. Strong, warm, certain. "Get in," a low voice said. She didn't think. She didn't look. She just obeyed. The door slammed. The world outside disappeared. Only silence remained. And the man beside her, he sat still, broad shoulders filling the back seat, dressed in a tailored black coat that smelled faintly of leather and smoke. His jaw was sharp, his face unreadable. His eyes, dark, calm, dangerous, studied her like she was a problem he already knew how to solve. "Who are you running from?" he asked. Jia swallowed. "I don't know," she whispered. That was a lie, and they both knew it. The car pulled away. Rain chased them. Jia pressed her shaking hands together in her lap. She was black, American, a stranger in soul with borrowed courage and a ring on her finger that didn't belong to love. She had come to Korea for a fresh start. Instead, she had walked straight into a storm. Her name was Maya Johnson, and tonight would change everything. The man beside her finally spoke again. "You don't belong in places like that club." His Korean was slow, measured, like every word carried weight. "I was invited," she said, forcing strength into her voice. He glanced at her hand, at the engagement ring. His jaw tightened. "By whom?" She hesitated. "My fiancé." Silence filled the car. Heavy. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed. Not amused, not kind, just dark. "Then he's a fool." The car turned sharply into an underground garage. Concrete swallowed them. The engine stopped. Maya's pulse spiked. "Wait, where are we?" she asked. The man opened his door. "My home." He paused. "You're safer here." She should have run. She didn't. The penthouse was quiet. Too quiet. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Soul glowing like a secret that never slept. Marble floors reflected dim lights. A faint jazz melody hummed somewhere unseen. Maya stood near the door, unsure where to place herself. The man removed his coat slowly. "Drink?" he asked. "No." He nodded, respecting it. "You're shaking." "I'm fine." Another lie. He studied her again, closer now. She noticed things she had in the car. A faint scar near his collarbone. A gold ring on his right hand. The way the room seemed to bend around him, as if he belonged to power itself. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya." "And you're engaged to someone who let you run alone in the rain." Her chest tightened. He didn't know. "Men like him always know," the man said quietly. She met his eyes. "Men like him?" A pause. Then, "Dangerous men." Something in his voice warned her. "Who are you?" she asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he walked past her, stopping inches away. Close enough that she felt the heat of him. Close enough that her breath stuttered. "You don't look like someone who belongs to Seoul," he said. Or to him. Her heart pounded. "I'm trying to belong," she said. He reached up, slowly, carefully, and brushed rain from her hair. She froze. The touch was gentle. Too gentle. "You're trying to survive," he corrected. She didn't pull away. That was the first mistake. The night blurred after that. Not in details. In feelings. A shared drink she didn't finish. A couch too soft. His voice low as he asked about her life in America. Her mother. Her dreams. The broken engagement that looked perfect on paper. She didn't tell him everything. But she told him enough. "I've never been with anyone," she admitted suddenly, staring at the city lights. He went still. "You're engaged," he said. I know. Then why tell me? She turned to him. Because you won't judge me. Another pause. Then his voice dropped. You shouldn't trust me. Why? His eyes darkened. Because if I touch you, Maya, I won't stop. The air shifted. Heavy. Electric. Her heart raced. She stood. So did he? The space between them vanished. His hand hovered near her waist. Tell me to stop, he said. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. The kiss was slow, careful, like a question. She answered by leaning closer. The city disappeared. Morning came softly. Light filtered through sheer curtains. Birds sounded distant, peaceful. Maya woke with warmth beside her, and reality crashed down. She sat up fast. The bed was unfamiliar, massive, expensive. His arm lay where she had been moments ago. Memories flooded back. His lips, his restraint breaking. Her choice, her first time. Her chest tightened. She gathered the sheets around herself, heart pounding, shame and confusion tangling inside her. What have I done? The bathroom door opened. He stepped out shirtless, hair damp, calm as if the night hadn't changed course of her life. You're awake, he said. I need to leave, she said quickly. He studied her. You regret it? Yes, she whispered. No, I don't know. He nodded once. Your phone's on the table. She grabbed it. 3 missed calls, all from the same contact. Fiancé. Her stomach dropped. She stood. I can't see you again, she said. I know. She paused at the door. What's your name? She asked. He hesitated. Then, Kang Dae-hyun. The name meant nothing to her. Yet, she left. The rain had stopped, but the storm followed her. That evening, she stood in a luxury restaurant beside her fiancé, trying to smile. He squeezed her hand possessively. I want you to meet someone important, he said. The doors opened. A man walked in. Black suit, calm eyes, familiar presence. Her breath caught. Kang Dae-hyun. He stopped when he saw her, just for a second, enough to shatter her. Her fiancé beamed. Uncle, he said proudly, this is my fiancé. Maya's world tilted. Dae-hyun's gaze locked onto hers. Dark, unreadable, dangerous, and full of recognition. Nice to meet you, he said softly. The words felt like a warning, and she realized, too late, she had given her heart to the most dangerous man in Seoul, and the story was only beginning. If you want to see what happens next, how her secret could destroy everything and what the Korean mafia boss does, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and don't miss out on this thrilling story. Maya couldn't breathe. The restaurant felt too small, too bright, too quiet. Crystal glasses clinked softly. Chopsticks rested neatly on porcelain plates. The scent of grilled beef and garlic hung in the air, heavy and nauseating. Across the table sat Kang Dae-hyun. Her night, her mistake, her secret, her fiancé's uncle. He looked exactly the same as he had that morning. Calm, controlled, impossibly composed. Only his eyes betrayed him. Dark, sharp, fixed on her for half a second too long. Then he looked away, just like that, as if she were nothing. As if her body hadn't memorized his touch. As if she hadn't given him something she could never take back. Maya, her fiancé said cheerfully, completely unaware of the war happening inches away from him. This is my uncle, Kang Dae-hyun. He's the reason our family businesses are still standing. She forced a smile. It's an honor, she said, her voice barely steady. Dae-hyun inclined his head politely. The honor is mine. His tone was cold, professional, stranger-like. It hurt more than she expected. They sat. Wine was poured. Conversation flowed around them, words bouncing off Maya without meaning. Her heart wouldn't slow down. Every movement Dae-hyun made pulled her attention. The way he adjusted his cuff, the way he listened more than he spoke, the way everyone else subtly deferred to him. Power followed him like a shadow. Her fiancé leaned closer to her. I told you my uncle was intimidating. She swallowed. You did. If he approves of you, you're family for life. Family. The word echoed cruelly. Across the table, Dae-hyun's jaw tightened. Just slightly. Maya caught it. Their eyes met again. This time, he didn't look away. Don't say anything. His gaze warned. Don't expose us. Her phone buzzed in her lap. A message. Unknown number. We need to talk. Not here. Her pulse spiked. She didn't need to guess who it was. Dinner ended with polite smiles and empty promises to meet again. Outside, Seoul's night wrapped around them, alive with traffic and lights. Her fiancé kissed her cheek. I'll call you later. Uncle needs a word. Maya's stomach dropped. She watched him walk away, then turned. Dae-hyun stood by his car, waiting. Get in, he said. The words mirrored last night. Her fate sealed itself again. The ride was silent. No rain this time. Only tension. When the car stopped, it wasn't his penthouse. It was a private rooftop overlooking the Han River. Wind whipped her hair. The city glowed below them, endless and unforgiving. She folded her arms around herself. This was a mistake, she said quickly. I didn't know. If I had known. You would still have run, he interrupted. She flinched. You were desperate, he continued calmly. And I was reckless. Her eyes burned. You knew I was engaged. Yes. And you still... Yes. The honesty stunned her. He stepped closer, then stopped himself. Last night cannot exist, he said. For your safety. For mine. What does that mean? She asked. His eyes darkened. It means you forget me. Her chest ached. And you? She whispered. I don't have that luxury. Silence stretched between them. You're not just a businessman, she said slowly. Are you? A faint smile touched his lips. No. Fear slid into her bones. My fiancé, what does he really do? She asked. Dae-hyun looked past her, toward the river. He thinks he's powerful, he said. That makes him dangerous. Her breath hitched. And you? He turned back to her. I decide who lives comfortably in this city, he said softly, and who doesn't. Maya realized then she hadn't fallen into love. She had fallen into a world she didn't understand. I want out, she said. Dae-hyun nodded. You should. Then his phone rang. His expression changed instantly. Controlled. Cold. Yes, he answered. A pause. Then, I'll handle it. He ended the call and looked at her. They know about you, he said. Her blood ran cold. Who? She asked. People who don't like my nephew marrying someone I didn't choose. Her heart pounded. What are you saying? I'm saying, he replied, voice low. Your life just became leverage. The wind howled. Maya took a step back. You can't protect me, she said. I already am. She shook her head. By staying away from me. His gaze softened. Just for a moment. That's the one thing I can't promise. Below them, the city lights flickered, and somewhere in the dark, someone was already watching her. The cliff edge wasn't behind her anymore. It was right in front of her. Maya felt it before she saw it. The shift, the pressure in the air. Like the city itself had leaned closer to listen. She hugged her coat tighter as Dae-hyun's car pulled away from the rooftop. Her thoughts raced, colliding with fear she didn't yet have words for. Leverage. The word echoed in her head. She barely slept that night. Every sound in her apartment felt louder. Every shadow looked longer. She lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying his voice, his eyes, the way he had said her name like it mattered. By morning, Seoul looked the same, but nothing else was. Her phone buzzed just after sunrise. Fiancé, lunch today. My uncle wants to get to know you better. Her stomach twisted. She didn't reply. Instead, another message appeared. Unknown number. Don't leave your apartment today. Her hands trembled. She typed back. Why? 3 dots appeared. Then stopped. Her doorbell rang. Once. Sharp. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She moved quietly, peering through the peephole. A woman stood outside. Tall. Korean. Perfect posture. Expensive coat. Her expression was calm, but her eyes were sharp enough to cut. I know you're inside. the woman said gently in flawless English. "Please open the door. I'd hate to make this uncomfortable." Maya opened it. The woman smiled. "Ms. Johnson," she said, "my name is C.O. Yura. I work for the Kong family." Maya stepped back instinctively. Yura entered without waiting to be invited, glancing around the apartment like she was memorizing exits. "You're beautiful," Yura said casually. "I see why he noticed you." Maya stiffened. Yura's smile widened. "You really don't know where you are, do you?" Fear crept up Maya's spine. "What do you want?" she asked. "To warn you," Yura replied. "This engagement is political. You're an unexpected variable." "I didn't plan any of this," Maya said quickly. "None of us ever do." Yura stepped closer. "But accidents in our world tend to disappear." Maya's breath caught. "You're threatening me." "I'm educating you." Yura's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then sighed. "You're lucky," she said. "He's intervening." "Who?" Maya asked. Yura met her eyes. Kong Dae-hyun. The door closed behind her. Maya slid down the wall, shaking. Minutes later, her phone rang. "Dae-hyun." She answered. "Did she scare you?" he asked quietly. "Yes," she said, her voice breaking despite herself. "I told you not to leave." "She came to me?" A pause. "Then I'll handle it." "No," Maya said suddenly. "You don't get to handle my life." Silence. Then his voice softened. "You're right." She stood. "I won't be used. By you or your family." "I'm not using you," he said. "Then what am I to you?" she asked. Another pause. Longer this time. "Someone I failed to protect," he said. Her heart clenched. "I didn't ask you to," she whispered. "I know." That afternoon, she agreed to lunch. Public places felt safer. The restaurant overlooked a busy market street. People laughed. Vendors shouted. Life moved on. Her fiancé arrived late, confident and smiling. "You look tense," he said, sitting across from her. "Nervous about meeting the family?" "I'm nervous about secrets," she replied. He laughed it off. "Everyone has those." Dae-hyun arrived last. The room shifted. Maya felt it instantly. He didn't look at her. Not once. Lunch was polite. Too polite. Then her fiancé leaned back. "Uncle, I was thinking. After the wedding, Maya and I could move into one of the Kong family residences." Maya's fork froze. Dae-hyun finally looked at her. Slowly. "No," he said flatly. Her fiancé blinked. "No, it's not safe." "For who?" the fiancé asked, irritated. "For her." The table went quiet. Maya's heart raced. "You're overstepping," her fiancé said. Dae-hyun's gaze sharpened. "Am I?" The tension crackled. Maya stood abruptly. "Excuse me." She walked away, breath shallow. She barely made it outside before hands grabbed her. Rough, fast. A van door slid open. Her scream was cut short. By a gunshot, the grip loosened. She fell back into solid arms. Dae-hyun, his coat wrapped around her as chaos erupted around them. "Get her out of here," he barked. Gunfire echoed. People screamed. Maya clung to him, shaking. He looked down at her, eyes blazing. "They weren't supposed to move this fast," he said. "Who?" she cried. "Everyone," he replied. As sirens wailed in the distance, Maya realized the truth. This wasn't just about love. It was about survival. And Kang Dae-hyun had just declared war. Maya didn't remember getting into the car. She remembered the sound. Gunfire echoing off concrete. People screaming. Dae-hyun's arm tight around her, unbreakable, pulling her forward as if the world itself couldn't slow him down. The door slammed. The engine roared. Only then did she realize she was crying. Not loud. Silent. Her hands trembled in her lap as Seoul blurred past windows. Dae-hyun sat beside her, calm in a way that terrified her more than panic ever could. He was already on the phone, voice sharp, controlled. "Lock everything down," he said. "No leaks. No explanations." He ended the call and finally turned to her. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. "Did they touch you?" No. His jaw tightened. Good, his silence said. She hugged herself. You said it wasn't safe. You knew this would happen. I suspected, he replied. I hoped I was wrong. That doesn't make it better, she snapped, fear finally spilling into anger. He didn't argue. The car entered an underground tunnel and slowed to a stop. Steel gates closed behind them with a heavy finality. This isn't your penthouse, Maya said, her voice small. No, Dae-hyun replied. It's safer. The doors opened to a private residence carved into stone and glass. Minimal, cold, efficient, a fortress. Guards bowed as he passed. Maya felt the weight of it then. This wasn't a man pretending to be powerful. This was a man who owned danger. He led her into a quiet room with soft lighting and a couch that looked too clean to ever be lived on. Sit, he said gently. She obeyed. He knelt in front of her, checking her hands, her arms, his touch professional but careful. You're shaking, he said. I almost got kidnapped, she replied. I think that's allowed. For the first time, something cracked in him. His hand paused. I'm sorry, he said. The words were simple. Heavy. I never wanted you in this world. Then why did you let me in? She asked. He met her eyes. Because I wanted you before I understood the cost. Silence fell between them. Her heart hurt. What about my fiancé? She asked quietly. Was he part of this? Dae-hyun stood slowly. He knows more than you think, he said. But not everything. That doesn't answer my question. He didn't order the attack. Dae-hyun said carefully. But he benefited from it. Maya's stomach dropped. So I was bait? Dae-hyun didn't deny it. He wanted to see who would move, he said. And they did. Tears burned her eyes. I trusted him. You trusted the idea of him. Dae-hyun replied softly. That's not a crime. She laughed bitterly. In your world, it might be. Night fell without warning. Guards changed shifts. Doors locked. Maya stood by the window, watching the city from a distance she'd never felt before. I want to go home, she whispered. Dae-hyun stood behind her. This is the only place they won't touch you, he said. And how long do I stay? She asked. As long as it takes. She turned to him. That sounded like a prison. It's protection. From them, she said. Or from you? His expression darkened. I won't touch you again, he said firmly. Not like that. Her chest tightened. I didn't ask you to promise that, she said. I need to, he replied. If I don't draw that line, I'll cross it. She looked away. Hours passed. She barely ate. Sometime after midnight, shouting echoed down the corridor. Dae-hyun moved instantly. Stay here, he ordered. The door slammed behind him. Maya's heart pounded. Minutes felt like hours. Then the door opened. Dae-hyun returned, blood on his knuckles. Not his. Someone tried to breach the lower level. He said calmly. She stared at him. You said this place was safe. It is, he replied. That's why they failed. Fear clawed at her. People are going to keep coming, she said. Yes. And you're just okay with that? His gaze softened. No, he said quietly. I'm furious. She stepped closer. Then let me go. I can't. Why? She demanded. Why me? He hesitated, then finally said the truth. Because the moment they realized you mattered to me, he said, you stopped being invisible. Her breath caught. You care about me, she whispered. He didn't deny it. That's the most dangerous thing about you, he said. A knock interrupted them. Co. Yura entered, composed as ever. The council is asking questions, Yura said. They want to know if the engagement will proceed. Maya's heart stopped. What did you tell them? Dae-hyun asked. Yura glanced at Maya. I told them, she said carefully, that the bride-to-be is under your personal protection. Maya looked at Dae-hyun. What does that mean? His eyes held hers. It means, he said slowly, they think you already belong to me. The silence that followed felt heavier than gunfire. And Maya realized the danger wasn't just outside anymore. Maya didn't sleep. She lay on the unfamiliar bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the low hum of security systems and distant footsteps of guards changing shifts. Every sound reminded her she wasn't free, already belonged to me. Dae-hyun's words replayed in her mind, not spoken with possession, spoken with warning. Morning arrived quietly. Soft light filtered through reinforced glass. A tray of food sat untouched by the door. Traditional Korean breakfast. Rice, soup, side dishes arranged with care. She didn't have the appetite. When the door opened, she expected Dae-hyun. Instead, Co. Yura stepped in. "You should eat," Yura said calmly. "Strength matters right now." Maya sat up. "Why are you here?" "To explain what he won't," Yura replied, setting the tray closer. "And to assess whether you'll survive this." Maya laughed without humor, comforting. Yura studied her carefully. "You're not weak. That's good. Weak people don't last long around Kong Dae-hyun. What am I to him?" Maya asked quietly. Yura paused. "Originally," she said, "an accident. And now, a vulnerability." Maya's chest tightened. "You think I wanted this?" Maya asked. "I didn't choose his world." "No," Yura agreed, "but his world chose you." She leaned closer. "There are rules now. You don't leave without clearance. You don't speak to outsiders alone. And most importantly—" "What?" Maya asked. "You don't fall in love with him." Maya's heart skipped. "That's not up to you," she said. Yura straightened. "It is if you want to stay alive." The door opened again. Dae-hyun entered. The room shifted immediately. Yura bowed slightly. "The council has set a meeting." "When?" he asked. "Tonight." Maya looked between them. "Meeting about what?" Dae-hyun turned to her. "About whether you remain under my protection." "And if they decide no?" Maya asked. His jaw tightened. "Then they'll take you from me," he said, "and decide your worth." Fear crawled into her bones. "What does that mean?" she whispered. "It means," Yura said carefully, "they may force the marriage to proceed quickly or cancel it permanently." Maya froze. "Cancel?" she asked. Yura nodded. "Permanently." Dae-hyun's voice hardened. "Enough." Yura bowed again. "Prepare her," she said, then left. Silence fell. Maya stood. "You're going to let them decide my life like this?" "No," Dae-hyun said. "I'm going to stop them." "How?" she demanded. "By reminding them who I am." Something in his tone frightened her. That evening, she was dressed in a simple black dress, elegant, restrained, a symbol, not a choice. She watched herself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. "You look strong," Dae-hyun said from the doorway. "I feel like a hostage," she replied. He stepped closer. "If this becomes too much, say the word." "And you'll let me go?" she asked. His eyes darkened. "I'll get you out alive." That wasn't the same thing. They arrived at a private estate hidden behind iron gates and tall pines. The air was cold. Still, inside, powerful men and women sat around a long table. Their eyes followed Maya with interest that made her skin crawl. She stayed close to Dae-hyun. A man at the head of the table spoke. "This is the woman?" "Yes," Dae-hyun replied. The man smiled thinly. "She's unexpected." Maya felt Dae-hyun's hand hover near hers. Not touching, protecting. "She has caused instability," another voice said. "Blood has already been spilled." "By your people," Dae-hyun replied coolly. A murmur rippled through the room. The man leaned forward. "And the engagement. Remove the problem." Maya's breath caught. Dae-hyun's voice was steady. "No." The room went silent. "She is under my protection," he continued. "Anyone who touches her answers to me." The man's eyes narrowed. "You would challenge the council for her?" Dae-hyun didn't hesitate. "Yes." Maya turned to him, stunned. The man smiled slowly. "Then prove she's worth the risk." "How?" Dae-hyun asked. The man's gaze slid to Maya. "Marry her instead." The words hit like a gunshot. Maya's heart stopped. Dae-hyun stiffened. "Or," the man added softly, "watch her disappear." Maya realized then Her choice was gone, and the next move would change all of their lives forever. The room felt colder after those words. Marry her instead. Maya's ears rang. She looked around the table at the calm faces, the measuring eyes. None of them saw her as a person. She was a solution, a sacrifice, a bargaining chip wrapped in silk. Her knees weakened. Dae-hyun didn't move. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he spoke. No. The single word cut through the room. A ripple of surprise followed. The man at the head of the table tilted his head. You refuse? I won't trade her freedom for political theater, Dae-hyun said. She's not a shield. And yet, the man replied calmly, she's standing in front of you. That makes her one already. Maya swallowed hard. Dae-hyun, she whispered, her voice barely there. He didn't look at her. Leave, the man said casually. We'll give you time to think. But not much. Guards opened the doors. The drive back was silent. No music, no phones, just a hum of the engine and the weight of everything unsaid. When they reached the residence, Maya finally spoke. They're going to kill me, she said softly. Dae-hyun parked the car and turned to her. No, he said. They won't. How do you know? Because if they wanted you dead, he replied, you wouldn't be breathing right now. That didn't comfort her. Inside, the doors locked behind them. Maya paced the living room, emotions crashing into each other. Fear, anger, guilt. This is my fault, she said. If I hadn't gone to that club. This is not your fault, Dae-hyun said sharply. She stopped. Then whose is it? He looked away. Mine. The word landed heavy. I knew better, he continued. I let myself want something I couldn't afford. Maya's chest tightened. I'm not something you wanted. I'm a person. He met her gaze. That's why this is tearing me apart. She walked closer. Then don't do it. Do what? Marry me, she said. Don't sacrifice your life for mine. His expression darkened. You think this is about my life? Isn't it? He stepped closer, voice low. If I don't make a move, they'll force your marriage to my nephew, or they'll erase you quietly. Either way, you lose. So marrying you saves me? She asked. It buys time, he said, and protection. And what does it cost you? He didn't answer. That night, Maya stood on the balcony, staring at the city lights. Seoul felt impossibly far away, like another life. Dae-hyun joined her. I ended the engagement, he said quietly. Her heart jumped. What? I told my nephew it was over, he continued. He didn't take it well. You didn't have to do that, she said. I did, he replied. He was never going to keep you safe. She turned to him. And you think you can? Yes. The certainty in his voice made her chest ache. How long would this marriage last? She asked. As long as necessary, he said. On paper. And in reality, she whispered. Silence. I won't touch you, he said. Not unless you ask me to. Her breath caught. You already crossed that line, she said. He looked at her, pain flickering in his eyes. And I hate myself for it. She shook her head. I don't. The word surprised them both. A knock interrupted the moment. Seo Yura entered, expression tight. The council has set a deadline. When? Dae-hyun asked. Tomorrow morning, Yura replied. They want your answer. Maya's stomach dropped. Yura looked at Maya. If you agree, you live under his name, his protection, his enemies. And if I don't? Maya asked. Yura's gaze softened, just a fraction. Then you disappear. After Yura left, Maya sat alone for a long time. Then she stood. She walked to Dae-hyun's office and found him staring at a wall of city surveillance screens, jaw clenched. I'll do it, she said. He turned sharply. No. Yes, she said, voice steady despite the fear clawing inside her. I won't let them decide my fate without my consent. This isn't consent, he said. It's coercion. Maybe, she replied, but it's my choice. He stepped toward her. You don't understand what it means to be my wife. Then explain it to me, she said, because right now Being alone in this world feels worse. Their eyes locked. Something unspoken passed between them. Finally, he nodded once. "If we do this," he said, "I will protect you with my life." Maya swallowed. "And after?" He hesitated. "After," he said softly, "we'll see if there's anything left of us to save." Outside, the city lights flickered. And somewhere deep within the Kong family, a decision had just been made, one that would bind them together in name and tear them apart in every other way. Morning arrived without mercy. Gray sky, cold air, the kind of morning where the world felt stripped down to truth. Maya stood still as CEO Yura adjusted the sleeves of her ivory dress. It was simple, elegant, not a bride's fantasy, a statement. "You look calm," Yura said. "I'm not," Maya replied softly. "That's good," Yura said. "Calm women don't survive this family. Aware ones do." Maya glanced at her reflection. Her eyes looked older, stronger, afraid but not broken. "Once you walk out that door," Yura continued, "there's no pretending anymore. Kong Daehyun's enemies will call you his weakness." Maya met her gaze. "Then they'll underestimate me." For the first time, Yura smiled, just a little. The ceremony was private. No flowers, no music, just a long wooden table, sealed documents, and witnesses who measured power instead of love. Daehyun stood across from her. Black suit, white shirt, no tie. He looked exactly the way he always did, controlled, unreadable. But Maya noticed a tension in his shoulders. The official cleared his throat. "Do you consent to this union under Kong family law?" Maya's heartbeat thundered in her ears. She thought of the club, the rain, the gunshots, the choice she never asked for, but claimed anyway. "I do," she said. Daehyun's jaw tightened. "And you, Kong Daehyun?" A pause. "Then I do." The seal stamped down. Just like that, she was no longer invisible. The ride back to the residence felt different. He didn't touch her, didn't speak, but something heavy had settled between them. Inside, guards bowed lower than before. "Welcome home, madam," one said. The word sent a chill through her. Daehyun dismissed everyone the moment the doors closed. Silence fell. "You didn't have to say yes," he said quietly. "I know," Maya replied, "but I meant it." He turned to her. "You don't owe me anything." "I didn't do this for you," she said. "I did it so I wouldn't be afraid anymore." He studied her for a long moment. "You should rest," he said. "It's been long." A loud crash echoed from below. The alarm screamed to life. Red lights flooded the walls. Daehyun moved instantly, pulling Maya behind him as guards rushed in. "Lower level breach." One shouted. "Internal access." "Internal." Daehyun's eyes darkened. "Stay here," he ordered. "No," Maya said immediately. He turned. "This is not." "I'm your wife now," she said, voice steady. "I won't hide while people die for me." For a split second, pride flickered across his face. Then anger. Then fear. "Fine," he said, "but you stay behind me. Always." They moved through corridors filled with shouting and pounding footsteps. Somewhere below, gunfire erupted. Maya's heart raced, but she didn't stop. They reached the control room, and there, her ex-fiancé stood, blood on his sleeve, a gun in his hand. "You chose him," he said, eyes burning as they locked onto Maya. "After everything I gave you." Maya felt the truth settle in her chest. "So it was you," she said quietly. He laughed. "You were never meant to survive this marriage." Daehyun stepped forward, voice lethal. "Put the gun down." The man smiled. "Or what? You'll kill your own blood." Maya realized then, this wasn't just betrayal. It was war within the family. The gun lifted. Everything slowed. And Maya knew whatever happened next would decide whether this marriage ended in blood or became something far more dangerous. The gunshot never came, because Maya moved first. She didn't scream. She didn't freeze. She stepped out from behind Daehyun. "Stop," she said. Her voice wasn't loud, but it cut through the chaos like a blade. Her ex-fiancé hesitated. just for a second, long enough for doubt to crack his rage. "You don't want to do this," Maya continued, eyes locked on his. "This isn't power. It's fear." He laughed bitterly. "You think you know fear? You chose him. You humiliated me." "I chose to live," she said. "There's a difference." Dae-hyun's hand tightened slightly at her back. A silent warning. A promise. The gun wavered. Then alarms blared louder. Footsteps thundered closer. The man's eyes darted, calculating escape. That was his mistake. Dae-hyun moved. Fast. Precise. Final. The gun was knocked away. Guards swarmed. The room filled with shouting. Maya didn't look away. She watched as a man who once promised her safety was dragged back, defeated by the very world he tried to control. As he was taken away, he turned his head. "This isn't over," he spat. "They'll come for you." Maya met his gaze calmly. "Then they'll meet me," she said. The doors slammed shut. Silence followed. Only then did Maya realize her hands were shaking. Dae-hyun turned to her. "You shouldn't have stepped in front of him," he said quietly. "You shouldn't have built a world where people think violence is the only language," she replied. He searched her face. Not angry. Awed. "You're not afraid of me," he said. She shook her head. "I'm afraid with you. That's different." Something shifted between them then. Not desire. Respect. Days passed. The residents returned to a tense calm. Meetings. Strategy. Quiet conversations behind closed doors. Maya learned quickly which corridors were safe, which names carried weight, which silences meant danger. She stopped feeling like a guest. She started feeling like a presence. One evening, she found Dae-hyun alone in the garden, city lights flickering beyond the walls. "You're changing things," he said without turning. "I'm just existing," she replied. "That's enough to disrupt men like me." She stepped beside him. "Do you regret marrying me?" He didn't answer immediately. "No," he said finally, "but I fear what this world will try to take from you." She looked up at him. "Then don't let it." Their eyes held, longer than necessary, closer than safe. "But still," he stepped back. "I meant what I said," he murmured. "I won't cross that line." Maya felt the ache in her chest. "Maybe," she said softly, "the line is moving." Before he could respond, CO Ur approached. "The council is divided," she reported. "Some want you gone. Some want her elevated." Maya blinked. "Elevated?" Ura nodded. "They're starting to see her as Kong Maya." The name echoed, not borrowed, earned. Dae-hyun glanced at Maya. "This is what I tried to protect you from." Maya squared her shoulders. "This is what I chose," she said. That night, alone in her room, Maya stared at the city and felt something unfamiliar settle in her chest. Not fear, resolve, but somewhere beyond the walls. Someone else was watching, and they weren't done yet. The warning came at dawn, not with gunfire, not with screams, with silence, the kind that crawled under your skin. Maya felt at the moment she woke up, the residence was too still. No footsteps, no radios, no distant murmurs of guards changing shifts. She sat up slowly. Her door opened. Dae-hyun stood there, fully dressed, weapon holstered, eyes sharp. "We're moving," he said. Her heart jumped. "Why?" "Because the council didn't just divide," he replied. "They split." She swung her legs off the bed. Meaning one side decided to make an example. They were halfway down the corridor when the first explosion shook the building. The lights went out. Emergency red flooded the walls. Dae-hyun pulled her into him instinctively, his body shielding hers as debris rained down. "Stay close," he ordered. Gunfire erupted below. This time it wasn't messy. It was coordinated. "They're inside," Maya whispered. "Yes," he said grimly. "And they came for you." They moved through hidden corridors, ones Maya hadn't known existed weeks ago. Steel doors slid open and shut. Voices echoed. Orders barked in rapid Korean. At one junction, CO Ura appeared, blood on her sleeve. "They breached the east wing," she said. "You have 5 minutes." Dae-hyun nodded. Get everyone out. Yura hesitated, looking at Maya. They're calling her the queen already. Maya swallowed. Queens bleed, Yura added quietly. Be careful. They reached the underground garage. A black armored car waited. Before they could reach it, a figure stepped out of the shadows. Tall, familiar, cold smile. The man from the council. You should have chosen us, he said calmly. Dae-hyun stepped forward, lethal calm in his posture. You broke the rules. There are no rules, the man replied. Only outcomes. His gaze slid to Maya. She inspires too much loyalty. Maya felt Dae-hyun tense. You don't get to decide that, Maya said. The man raised a gun. Everything slowed. Dae-hyun moved, but not fast enough. The shot rang out. Maya felt the impact. Heat. Pain. She stumbled back. Dae-hyun caught her as she fell. No. His voice cracked for the first time. No, no, no. Blood stained her dress. Her vision blurred. Dae-hyun, she whispered. Don't. He pressed his hand to the wound, eyes wild. Stay with me. Sirens wailed above. Guards swarmed. The attacker was taken down in a storm of bullets, but Dae-hyun barely noticed. He lifted Maya into his arms, carrying her like she weighed nothing. The drive was chaos. Blood. Orders. Maya drifted in and out. She felt warmth, felt his forehead press against hers. If you die, he whispered, voice breaking, this world dies with you. She tried to smile. You'd be a terrible villain, she murmured. Her eyes closed. The hospital lights were blinding. Voices echoed. Bullet missed vital organs. She's strong. She's holding on. Dae-hyun didn't leave her side. Hours passed. Then her fingers moved. His head snapped up. Maya. Her eyes opened slowly. Pain flared, but she was alive. You look terrible, she whispered. A sound escaped him that wasn't quite a laugh. Not quite a sob. You scared me, he said. She reached for his hand. He took it, held it, didn't let go. Outside the room, Seo Yura watched quietly. The Kong family had lost control, but gained something far more dangerous. Love. And Maya realized, as Dae-hyun pressed a gentle kiss to her knuckles, this marriage was no longer a shield. It was a choice. And the final reckoning was coming. Maya woke to sunlight. Real sunlight. Not the harsh white of hospital lights. Not the red glow of alarms. This was warm, gentle, quiet. She blinked slowly. The room smelled like clean sheets and tea. Outside the window, Seoul moved at a peaceful distance, like it had finally decided to let her rest. She turned her head. Dae-hyun was there, seated beside the bed. Jacket off, shirt sleeves rolled up, dark circles under his eyes. His hand wrapped around hers like he was afraid she might disappear if he let go. You're awake, he said softly. His voice wasn't the voice of a mafia boss. It was just a man. I am, she whispered. Still here. His grip tightened slightly. You scared everyone, he said. Especially me. She smiled faintly. I warned you. I'm hard to get rid of. A breath escaped him, half laugh, half relief. You shouldn't be alive, he said. They meant to end everything. But they didn't, she replied, because you were faster. No, he corrected gently, because you were stronger. The door opened quietly. Seo Yura stepped in. The council has dissolved, she said calmly. Those who survived have pledged loyalty. The rest are gone. Maya closed her eyes for a moment. It was over. Yura turned to Maya. They've accepted you. Fully. Not as leverage. Not as a symbol. As what? Maya asked. Yura paused. As Kong Maya. The name settled differently now. Not heavy. Grounded. Yura bowed. You changed the balance. When she left, silence returned. Dae-hyun looked at Maya carefully. When you're well enough, we can leave. If you want. Start somewhere new. Away from all this. Maya studied his face. This man who'd been feared his entire life. This man who had built walls instead of dreams. And you, she asked, would you really leave your world? For you, he said quietly. Yes. She squeezed his hand. Then here's my truth, she said. I won't run anymore, but I won't disappear either. He nodded. I wouldn't want you to. Weeks passed. Healing came slowly, but it came. The residence changed. Lighter, more human. Maya walked its halls without fear. Guards greeted her with respect, not obligation. Decisions were made with her presence acknowledged. And Dae-hyun softened, not weaker, just real. One evening, as the city lights flickered on, Maya stood on a balcony she once feared. Dae-hyun joined her. The world is quieter, she said. It's afraid, he replied. Of you. She laughed softly. I don't want fear. Then they'll learn something new, he said. She turned to him. We never talked about us, she said. He met her gaze. Because I didn't want to pressure you. She stepped closer. This marriage started as protection, she said. Then it became survival. And now, he asked. She reached up, resting her hand over his heart. Now it's choice. For a long moment, he didn't move. Then he leaned his forehead against hers. No rush, no demand, just certainty. I love you, he said. Not loudly, not dramatically, just honestly. Her breath caught. I love you too, she replied. The city stretched endlessly below them. No gunfire, no shadows chasing them. Just two people who had survived the storm and chosen each other in the calm after. Some stories begin with love. Theirs began with danger, but it ended with something far rarer. Peace. Last night, she had the greatest night of her life, full of passion, excitement, and love she never expected. But she had no idea the man she trusted with her body was her fiancé's uncle, the notorious Korean MAFIA boss. Rain fell hard on Gangnam that night, not the gentle kind, the kind that erased footsteps and blurred faces, the kind that made mistakes feel inevitable. Gia ran. Her heels slapped against wet pavement as neon signs shattered into colors on the ground. Red, blue, gold. Her breath burned. Her heart hammered. So loud, she was sure someone behind her could hear it. She shouldn't have been there. She knew that. But desperation had a way of lying to you. The black car door opened just as she reached the curb. A hand grabbed her wrist. Strong, warm, certain. Get in, a low voice said. She didn't think. She didn't look. She just obeyed. The door slammed. The world outside disappeared. Only silence remained. And the man beside her, he sat still, broad shoulders filling the back seat, dressed in a tailored black coat that smelled faintly of leather and smoke. His jaw was sharp, his face unreadable. His eyes, dark, calm, dangerous, studied her like she was a problem he already knew how to solve. Who are you running from? He asked. Jia swallowed. I don't know, she whispered. That was a lie, and they both knew it. The car pulled away. Rain chased them. Jia pressed her shaking hands together in her lap. She was black, American, a stranger in soul with borrowed courage and a ring on her finger that didn't belong to love. She had come to Korea for a fresh start. Instead, she had walked straight into a storm. Her name was Maya Johnson, and tonight would change everything. The man beside her finally spoke again. You don't belong in places like that club. His Korean was slow, measured, like every word carried weight. I was invited, she said, forcing strength into her voice. He glanced at her hand, at the engagement ring. His jaw tightened. By whom? She hesitated. My fiancé. Silence filled the car. Heavy. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed. Not amused. Not kind. Just dark. Then he's a fool. The car turned sharply into an underground garage. Concrete swallowed them. The engine stopped. Maya's pulse spiked. Wait, where are we? She asked. The man opened his door. My home. He paused. You're safer here. She should have run. She didn't. The penthouse was quiet. Too quiet. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city, soul glowing like a secret that never slept. Marble floors reflected dim lights. A faint jazz melody hummed somewhere unseen. Maya stood near the door, unsure where to place herself. The man removed his coat slowly. "Drink?" he asked. "No." He nodded, respecting it. "You're shaking." "I'm fine." Another lie. He studied her again, closer now. She noticed things she had in the car. A faint scar near his collarbone. A gold ring on his right hand. The way the room seemed to bend around him, as if he belonged to power itself. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya." "And you're engaged to someone who let you run alone in the rain." Her chest tightened. He didn't know. "Men like him always know," the man said quietly. She met his eyes. "Men like him?" A pause. Then, "Dangerous men." Something in his voice warned her. "Who are you?" she asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he walked past her, stopping inches away. Close enough that she felt the heat of him. Close enough that her breath stuttered. "You don't look like someone who belongs to Seoul," he said. "Or to him." Her heart pounded. "I'm trying to belong," she said. He reached up, slowly, carefully, and brushed rain from her hair. She froze. The touch was gentle. Too gentle. "You're trying to survive," he corrected. She didn't pull away. That was the first mistake. The night blurred after that. Not in details. In feelings. A shared drink she didn't finish. A couch too soft. His voice low as he asked about her life in America. Her mother. Her dreams. The broken engagement that looked perfect on paper. She didn't tell him everything. But she told him enough. "I've never been with anyone," she admitted suddenly, staring at the city lights. He went still. "You're engaged," he said. "I know." "Then why tell me?" She turned to him. "Because you won't judge me." Another pause. Then his voice dropped. "You shouldn't trust me." "Why?" His eyes darkened. "Because if I touch you, Maya, I won't stop." The air shifted. Heavy. Electric. Her heart raced. She stood. So did he? The space between them vanished. His hand hovered near her waist. "Tell me to stop," he said. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. The kiss was slow, careful, like a question. She answered by leaning closer. The city disappeared. Morning came softly. Light filtered through sheer curtains. Birds sounded distant, peaceful. Maya woke with warmth beside her, and reality crashed down. She sat up fast. The bed was unfamiliar, massive, expensive. His arm lay where she had been moments ago. Memories flooded back. His lips, his restraint breaking. Her choice. Her first time. Her chest tightened. She gathered the sheets around herself, heart pounding, shame and confusion tangling inside her. What have I done? The bathroom door opened. He stepped out shirtless, hair damp, calm as if the night hadn't changed course of her life. "You're awake," he said. "I need to leave," she said quickly. He studied her. "You regret it?" "Yes," she whispered. "No, I don't know." He nodded once. "Your phone's on the table." She grabbed it. 3 missed calls. All from the same contact. "Fiancé." Her stomach dropped. She stood. "I can't see you again," she said. "I know." She paused at the door. "What's your name?" she asked. He hesitated. Then, Kang Dae-hyun. The name meant nothing to her. Yet, she left. The rain had stopped, but the storm followed her. That evening, she stood in a luxury restaurant beside her fiancé, trying to smile. He squeezed her hand possessively. "I want you to meet someone important," he said. The doors opened. A man walked in. Black suit, calm eyes, familiar presence. Her breath caught. Kang Dae-hyun. He stopped when he saw her. Just for a second. Enough to shatter her. Her fiancé beamed. "Uncle," he said proudly. "This is my fiancé." Maya's world tilted. Dae-hyun's gaze locked onto hers. Dark, unreadable, dangerous, and full of recognition. "Nice to meet you," he said softly. The words felt like a warning, and she realized, too late, she had given her heart to the most dangerous man in Seoul, and the story was only beginning. If you want to see what happens next, how her secret could destroy everything and what the Korean mafia boss does, Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and don't miss out on this thrilling story.